Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper. This is another video on Watcher of Realms. Today, as you can see by the fancy little thing over there that says it, we are on the test server. Why would we possibly be on the test server? Oh, I think it might be because Sun Wukong's coming. The Monkey King himself is coming to the game. And we're going to have a first look. I haven't watched anyone else's videos. I've seen all their thumbnails. Broken. So he's probably broken. So it would probably be in my best interest to take a look at him and see how broken he is and whether I think he's as broken as everyone, because everyone loves using the word. Everyone's been broken. There's more broken champions than unbroken champions in this game, apparently. Definitely an overused word, but maybe in this case actually means it. So why don't we start here? There he is. Sun Wukong looks pretty cool. That's pretty much how Sun Wukong should look, with the big long feathers and the staff, his cudgel, which is a big part of his deal. He's got single target attack, multi-strike attack, hard control, and summon. So he's got a lot. He can summon instances of himself. That's his shtick. So as soon as that entered the game, you knew he had to be there. Shockingly, because I thought this would never happen, finally we have a nightmare fighter. Finally, we have a nightmare fighter. Finally, we have a nightmare fighter in this game. Sun Wukong, one of another long list of nightmare fighters. I don't know if Moonton knows, but there's other factions here. There's the North Throne. There's the cultists. There's Infernal. There's Piercers. Piercers should have fighters, which maybe they just need fighters with extended length, that sort of thing. But no, we're gonna go this way. Boy, it'd be nice to see a couple new piercers in this game, hey? Or a defender, or a magic user, or a healer, or anything other than a fighter. That said, he's also from the Watcher category, which is pretty significant, because I feel like especially if you don't have the Arbiter group, Watchers might sneakily be shaping up especially to be one of the best factions in the game for Guild Boss 2, which I'm just assuming Sun Wukong's going to be good at. It may not be his forte but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're going to test him out briefly in different areas. It's mainly just a first look. I'm not so hell-bent on testing, but when you take a look at this, you're starting to really be able to put together a team if you don't have that Arbiter team. You've got Constance there. She's a mainstay in Semra. You've got obviously one of the broken champions of the game, the true broken, in Ingrid. You of course have an amazing Lord if you're not using either one of these, could be the Lord. I think actually I would say Leia's the better Lord for not the better hero certainly, but we don't need to jump into Lord skills and to see which one's better. But you also have Alistair. So Alistair was readily available. Leia is, somewhat available. We just recently had Kagiri and Alistair are both previous 250 guaranteed heroes. So honestly, now with Sun Wukong coming into the game, I'm really thinking, of course, we also have Callista, which you just got for free. I haven't really had much for testing on her. You've got Lucius, who is really good, though kind of muted in his gameplay ability. The fact that he's on a pedestal would be nice, because a lot of these champions, a lot of the champions use are fighters, so depending on the balance you need. But there are some really good you can put together a pretty freaking good Watcher team now, and it's only better. And I gotta say, I think they've surpassed Infernal, and I think they're probably a close third for the Infernal group. And that is because when you add Sun Wukong and the damage that he's going to output, and the fact that if you don't have the broken Arbiter, you've still got a ton of options. And maybe that's something I'm going to do in the new year. Once Sun Wukong comes in, I'm going to build a Watcher Infernal 120 Samurai 2. Mark my words. Mark them here. Anyway, that said, let's take a look at our Sun Wukong and see what he's about here. First of all, his promotions. He gets his Golden Cudgel Strike. He gets Talent Enhanced. He gets the Golden Glare. And then attributes, he gets Talent Enhanced and Basic Attributes. I don't know why I went through that. No one cares. How I have him built out, we'll talk about in a second. Let's take a look at his talent here. The third basic attack summons one Sage's clone within Ultimate's range. Up to 3 Sage's clones can exist simultaneously. Gains 1 stack of Undaunted Might every 30 seconds, up to 5 stacks. If summoning Sage's clone is not possible, or there are 3 already, the third basic attack will instead increase the hero's attack by 20% for 15 seconds. So just wrap your head around that and put it in Semra. You can put, if you have a platform heavy, you can leave open sides to him so that he can potentially add 3 instances of his clones. Now, Sage's clones are 100% of the hero's basic attributes, or of the hero's attributes. Each basic attack deals 40% damage to one adjacent enemy. The Sage's clone takes 50% more damage. So it'll probably die quicker when the Samurai takes his turn. But you can actually have 3 of him fighting with him. And then if you put, oh my god, if you put the Wailing Skull on him, then you could have 4. I don't know if you'll have room for that. There may not be room. You may not even be able to have that many clones around him. But I think the real key here is, if you stifle the room, every X seconds, every third basic attack, he's making sure he's got an extra 20% attack, because he can't do clones. Or maybe you leave 1 space for 1 clone, or 2 spaces for 2 clones, and then you're almost guaranteeing that he's going to have 100% uptime on that extra 20%, just based on his talent. So just some different thoughts and theories. We'll have to really get into it and test it. When I prefer testing when I'm on my live, not on the test server, because I don't have a full Semra team built up, and that's 10 heroes leveling up, and that seems like work. I've already got 9 of them done. I just need to get Sun Wukong on my team, so we'll do that then. But let's take a look at his ultimate here. He deals 100% damage 18 times to one enemy and inflicts stun on a 700 cooldown when fully booked, at an interesting 2x2 kind of range. That's an interesting different range. I kind of like it. He's gonna be really good in other, like, look at that. That looks so cool. Yeah, I mean, just an ultimate. And by the way, when he said Sun Wukong can create instances of himself, the Sage clones, those are going to be within his ultimate range, which you see this ultimate range, which means likely if you put him just one off on Semra 2, he's got a whole open space. I always set my guys up on the left side. You're probably setting up on the right side because you are right-handed. So maybe you're setting up on the right side, but you're actually going to have a lot of place to put those 3 Sage clones. So I don't think it'll be that. It'll probably be harder blocking them. I'd be curious to see which is better. If you get him enough attack speed, maybe it won't matter, and you'll still have that 20%, 100% uptime. But if they're dying quickly, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking as I look, because this is literally my first look at him. That seems like a lot too. That's 18 times to one enemy on a very low cooldown. Also think of any sort of multi-hit needed Immortal Codex. So the shields, this is 18 hits on a ridiculously low cooldown. So, and you could probably just Lorelize him, put him between him and Helga maybe, and you're getting like 36 plus 24 hits just from 2 champions right away. I don't know, just thinking out loud. His basic attack deals 120% damage to one enemy. His Golden Cudgel Strike, which is passive, has a 25% chance to deal 200% damage and inflict stun. So he's got a 25% chance to do stun. I hope there's a mechanic to make that better somewhere in his Awakenings or something, because 25% is not enough. I've seen this a lot. That's one of my biggest problems with Torador. He's so strong in the game, but I often cannot max out the stuns in Semra 2, though thankfully I can work through that. I have enough damage mitigation, heal, and general health that it's okay, but it's not always optimal. So 25% stun is not fun. It's not the greatest. I mean, Torador's is a larger stun, and it causes issues. So we'll see, but it is another stun champion, and I think that's going to be good for anyone who can get a stun champion. 25% chance is better than 0% chance. But the big thing also, it's going to deal 200% extra damage. If the enemy is immune to stun when triggered, it deals an extra 200% damage one time. So I don't know if it'll kick that. I don't know if it. So that's 400% damage if it's immune. Obviously for Guild Boss 1, that's going to just be 400% damage. For Guild Boss 2, technically he is immune to stun, but stun does affect him. So I imagine it wouldn't do the 400% damage, but we have to test it. When the hero triggers Golden Cudgel Strike, he gains 1 stack of Sunder. Sunder can stack up to 5 times using the ultimate at full stacks, consumes all Sunder stacks. Okay. The ultimate consumes full stacks of Sunder, enabling the hero to ignore 60% of the target's defense for 15 seconds, which is incidentally past his 4.5. So he's gonna get ignoring 60% when his Sunder is full, and that's gonna be on 18 hits. There's just a lot going on there. That seems to be a lot of damage. There seems to be a lot of burst, but hey, is he broken? Probably, but I don't know. Is he? We're gonna find out. So we also have awakenings here. The first time splitting hairs is triggered, each battle allies within 2 tiles gain monkey business. Prevents death one time when the carrier takes fatal damage, dispels all debuffs on them, and restores 50% of their max HP. Well, that seems broken. So that's the first time. So that gives you 1 get out of jail free card in Samurott 2. Which is pretty OP. Allies within 2 tiles. So interesting. That'll be interesting. Maybe we do have to test Samurott later, some other time. That's good. So this will be TAC 300. This will be Sage's clone. Those are his clones. Sage's clone has a 25% chance to inflict stun when dealing damage to enemies. If the enemy is immune to stun, it's 150% damage one time. If the hero has Golden Glare, he will also gain 1 stack of Sunder. Wow. So that means all of your clones are going to have a chance to stun. Now that makes things considerably more interesting. Penetration. So he's going to get that 60%. And now he's going to get 8% with between the Sunder. Now, Awakening 5 increases the damage instances of splitting hairs by 18. And raises Undaunted Might. Each stack of damage increases Delta elites or bots by 1%. Capped by 25. After using splitting hairs, Golden Cudgel Strike chance increased by 35% for 12 seconds. Well, that seems a little broken. He does seem broken. I think this is a big deal, but I think the A3 that's the big deal, because your Sage's clone has the chance of dealing stuns as well. Well, we're gonna have to test that. We're gonna have to somehow put together a test here. My word. So let's use them at A0. Go into our guild. We'll go into Nightmare 2. We'll pop him in. We don't even need you. Well, I guess. I was wondering, should I also test his? So we get it. You're gonna get a stack of death of not dying. You're gonna get a stack of not dying. So that's good. That's my official analysis. That's good. That seems like a good thing to have. We don't even have Torador built, but we'll just give him that. So let's just start by seeing kind of what his damage looks like here against Guild Boss 1, and we'll also get a chance to see how many of those guys are made. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We just put him there. He's also got, I like the extended range even on his base attack. So that's going to be nice. So we'll just do that like that. So there, he's made 1. I'm going to have to relook at his build. There's 2. There's 3. Interesting. So 95, 26, 26. Oh, one of them died. Don't worry. He'll bring it back. There we go. Are we seeing any effects on him? We don't get to see any of his effects, which is unfortunate. Because I don't know if his cudgel... Like, how do I know... How do I know what is cudgel if it's maxed out or not? We'll just do this, and we'll do a whole bunch. Look at, they run around him, and they hit him. Wow, they hit him pretty hard. But I don't see, again... here's a complaint. They really do a piss poor job of putting active... Because how do I know how many instances of cudgel he has? Or cudgel, of any of his stuff here. So that's, I mean, that looks cool to me. This is first look. I'm trying to go too in depth because my mind is going a mile a minute on this guy, thinking what he can do. Complete. Let's, I can win. I can win an instant, I think. Okay. So here's my initial beef. Looks cool. Those instances are up almost 100%. But the Golden Cudgel Strike, this is not, I don't, it's hard to see that 400 because there's so much damage going on him. But I assume he's just getting that 400, 25% chance to essentially hit 400% damage. And then here, he gains Sunder. But I don't see the stacks. We can't see the stacks. We don't know when this is being triggered. So we don't know the stacks. And even if we did see when this is being triggered, we don't always know. And then so I could test it by how much damage he's doing, but I should be able to see his stacks of Sunder, right? Golden Glare, Golden Cudgel Strike, Physical Attack, Splitting Hairs. Also, each stack increases damage to these and boss. The Undaunted Might gains 1 every 30 seconds up to 5, and then his Awakenings are going to take that up to by 25, which is, and Splitting Hairs by 18. That just seems ridiculous to me. Let's awaken him. We have other copies, so if we need to do other tests, we have them saved. But I want to awaken this guy to Awakening 5. Oh, no, not you. And I'm gonna build a team just to see at the beginning what he's doing in Semra. I don't even know if Semra is open. Can I? I'm sure it is. Let's just find out. Let's just find out what this guy can do. I'm trying to wrap my head around how broken he is. The damage is definitely going to be there. Oh, I just achieved Commander 2. I'll be right back. All right, here's the deal. I'm back. We now have a proper Nightmare Fork because I think this is going to be ridiculous, and I want to see it firsthand. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm not even optimizing the team. Obviously, the players are optimized. It's a Laurel team without Volca. It's essentially the same team I use, except for putting Sun Wukong in for, who do I normally use? For another champion. Oh, Kagiri. I use Kagiri on my main. Other than that, this is the team that I use. And I'm going to show you how whacked out this is to give it some some context, Sun Wukong's the best at 101, 106 for Hex. My Hex on my team is 104, so that's pretty freaking close. 104 Twyla is about 10k more because she's an A5. I don't have an A5. And then 97 Silas, mine's 100k. 76, mine is 90k. So it drops down after that. So obviously, the real thing is these are the three damage dealers I want to compare. You could argue I could pump up Silas to an A5. I don't think his A5 is going to do the same level of exponential damage. I want to see what Sun Wukong does versus Twyla and versus Hex in this boss. And then we know this guy's the champ. I've got him. He's got a max sutra. He's ready to go. He should be the max. But I just want to see what the damage is. And then because we've unlocked Nightmare 4, we should, and I use the word should, yeah, we have a chance to go here as well in Apocalypse 1. So we'll test that as well with kind of the same team. It won't quite be the same, but I really want to see what his stuns do. But I think Guild Boss 1 will be a really good chance to see what kind of damage he's going to do. So let's do this fight. It's important to note, this is not, like I said, this is not. I have one invigoration set on the whole team. And just out of habit, I'm going to drop them the same way. But you see, there's no invigoration here. There's no invigoration on Laurel. I don't even use these two, who normally I would put in invigoration gear just at the beginning to make sure that everyone has it. We're not doing that. We're not playing that here. This is just them. There'll be one person with invigoration, or the 10%, and that'll be. We're probably gonna we'll give it to Silas, just because it's the three Nightmare champs that I really want to see, the two Nightmare and Hex. So I don't want to give Hex the big one. So let's skip here. Let's get this going. Let's see what this looks like. So we're gonna put down Hex first. And then we'll put down, oops, I missed that, Dolores. And honestly, after that, it really doesn't matter. And we don't even have to min-max this. Because the one person who's got it, I'm going to put you down. No. I'm just so... You there. Whew. Okay. And you can go there. So this is the team we're going to use. We're gonna play it through as I normally would with these champions. We're obviously waiting for the inspiration to do the first big set of burst damage. There it is. Let's get everyone going here. There we go. And then we can pull. And I'm not even going to drop these guys. They're not in gear. It's not even worth it. Plus, I think doing that is probably not going to min-max as much as just allowing Sun Wukong's third instance. Because if I put her down, where am I going to put her down? I either have to put her over here and not have a Wailing Skull spot, or I have to put her over here and not have a third instance of Sun Wukong. So, I did that too early. That's my fault. That's okay. We'll drop them. That's a little off, but that's still going to do. Still within that Dolores piece, I think. And as you can see here, the only 10% buff is, of course, these guys are getting the attack speed buff, but there's no other thing going on. Just for full clearance. And you see it, they go around them, which is kind of neat. I like that. Now, these two are not in low range. So because of that, I will use them as they become available. The Dolores, she got a boost here. So Dolores, we'll use him at all times because he's a totally different world now. We'll use her. God, there's no one to boost her for. We'll drop you down. We'll do you. We'll do you. We'll do you. And then we'll pull. I mean, the damage is. I mean, I can already see the damage is going to be nice. It's going to be good. The question is, what's he going to do relative to the others? The gear is in relation, I think. Oh, good. We got a double on there. 77, 70. Oof. Okay. Easy break through that. Sun Wukong is going to have his cycle so often because it's such a low percentage. Um, he's really in a different world. He truly is. We got 17 seconds here. She's going to be up and at him again. I didn't notice if she got the bonus. I assume she did. We always use his because again he gets because of his abilities. He actually gets to reset his stuff. Looks like yeah, we're going to use these ones now. Then we're going to drop her, pick her up to use these two. And then Dolores will be back up to give Sun Wukong, I think, a nice little boost as well. Actually, I'll just use his because his is an instant burst. I might as well. She's back up. Is there a reason to use her, though? 26. They're just about done. I guess for Hex, why not? It looks like she will probably reset in time for these two, more or less. I don't know. Give Sun Wukong some more damage. We're already at 50k, so that shows you this is a pretty freaking good run. The only thing I was worried about is this, but they're all up in time for the shields. I don't even look at the shields anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. They don't seem to do a whole heck. It doesn't seem to matter. It truly does not seem to matter. The reason why I'm doing them all here is because we got Laurel that we can do that with. So that's just going to reset everyone as soon as they're ready. Right? They're almost ready to go. I'm gonna start both of these the second they're ready, because we still have. I keep saying Laurel. We still have a Dolores alt up, so might as well just pop them all. We're at 67. She's gonna be up and ready, I think, immediately. So we might as well again trying to get that coverage on the inspiration up. All right. We're almost there. We're at 73. So we're not going to beat my best. I've hit 90k with Kagiri, but again, no invigoration except for on one. I didn't min-max the start. I didn't, there's a lot of things I didn't do. So that doesn't necessarily say anything. What we want is the relative comparison here between champions, given they're all A5, they're all fully booked. Just to see what that final damage number looks like. And, okay, so we did get over 80. So, honestly, considering I didn't do anything, this team's very comparable to my other team, which means it feels like it's going to be fairly comparable in damage, which is crazy because Kagiri's my number 2 damage dealer. So, is Sun... Well, Jesus. Mother of Murphy. Okay. So now an A5. An A5. Now, don't necessarily look at... She doesn't ramp up. We all know Twyla's better off in Semrock because it's a longer battle. Gives her more chance to ramp up. So her damage, she would be up with these guys in a longer battle. Silas is almost irrelevant in Guild Boss now. If you have a full stack team. Or when you have a full stack team, however you want to look at that. I could take Silas out, put Kagiri in, and get even more damage. I'm better off with Kagiri, which means I'm better off with an Infernal team to still give Hex his boost. Because I don't need him. He can be on the... Wow. Okay, well, there you go. He is... I mean, his A5, at least, when fully booked, when fully banked, with his exclusive... at max, on Nightmare 4, it would seem to me that he is he's pretty broken. I think we can safely say that. That is a fairly broken proposition. Hex has been that I've never had on my teams Hex be beaten in Guild Boss 1. And we just saw it from Sun Wukong. So take that for what you will. I'm going to do a Semra. I'm going to wait because I want to do it on Semra too. Because I think that the numbers here might just get silly. I think he might just be a silly bear. I don't even know what to say. Sun Wukong, yeah, the damage throughput seems to be pretty extreme, and he actually beat I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it one last time. He fully beat. Okay, but you know what? We need to get serious here. We need to look at the camera. I need to turn the thing. I'm gonna look right at the camera. We're gonna go final thoughts. Final thoughts on my first look. Final thoughts. I don't. It's not really final thoughts. Sun Wukong is cracked. Broken? No. Cracked? Absolutely. On Nightmare 4. On Guild Boss 1 Nightmare 4. Now, granted, yeah, 101k. Not even the highest power. Up against a Hex. Fully maxed out skills. Pretty freaking good min-max gear. At least for the test server for me. A fully maxed out Sutra of Caprice. And in his defense, he also has his Golden Cudgel at full max, which increases damage by 30%. And the Sage Clone additionally stores 6% rage, which means lots of cycle on the rage, which is obscene. It's obscene. The numbers are obscene. This is an obscene exclusive artifact for him. Awakening 5, both of them Awakening 5. So we're pretty much comparing apples to apples here, I would think, right? Keeping in mind that we can play a little bit more with his total attributes being 22k and 351 because his starting attack is so much higher versus 16,308. That's just how all fighters are. Every other fighter has that opportunity and doesn't outdo Hex in Nightmare 4. Until now, Sun Wukong did more damage in Nightmare 4 Guild Boss than Hex. Now, was that maybe my timings with Dolores helped that? Maybe. Is it because Hex gets that thing where it can extend his ultimate, which means he's not in sync with the rest of them and Dolores? Maybe. Is there RNG involved? Maybe. But the reality that he's even close, Kagiri gets within 10k damage, 20k damage, depending on RNG. Below, on my main account. Sun Wukong just cleared him by an easy group. So even with RNG, maybe Sun Wukong ends up below Hex. The fact that he can even get there shows you the potential damage throughput on this. I can't wait to use him in Semra 2 and test his full potential here. And what I will say is I firmly believe that this, to me at least, proves that Silas has been fully power crept now in Guild Boss. Because I don't use him in Semra 2. I use him in Semra 1 as my second team. And now, adding to that, if I have Sun Wukong on my team, which I plan to, I will not be using Silas on my Nightmare 4 team either. Which is crazy. That is a level of power creep that now you've got Twyla that can do nearly as much damage as Silas. Depending on your arrogance can be as much damage as Silas. Your Hex does considerably more damage than Silas. Your Sun Wukong now does ridiculously more damage than Silas. Your Lust, if you're putting her in the right place, will do as nearly as much or as much as Silas. Obviously, this is an A01, so it's not a fair comparison. She can play with these big boys in damage in Guild Boss 1 at least. It's truly remarkable to me. It's a truly remarkable. How does the team look now? I think I don't use Silas anymore. I think in order to have Hex work, we would probably have to bring in. I can put Laurel down here. I can bring Volca back in for the thing, or or so many options. But we're gonna have a Twin Fiend, and I have an A5 Twin Fiend, so obviously that makes sense to me. But this is now my team, and then who that last one is, I'm not even gonna I don't even have to put Twin Fiend in. In fact, it's in my best interest, honestly, to not put Twin Fiend in, because Twin Fiend requires timings. Who cares about timings? Just make this let's just go. That's gonna give me more stats for my Dolores. It's gonna give me equal, similar stats with Hex. In this case, there's a good and a bad with it, but it's definitely gonna help. I could put in. I mean, if you have a cracked Zilla2, she can still do obscene amounts of damage. We can put in an Arrogance and have these two sit out. Or if we're actually gonna swap these two, then we bring back Volca, and these two swap in and out with Dolores, or whatever we're gonna do. Like there's so much ability and option here. I don't even know what to say. This is pretty crazy. He's an amazing champion. Sun Wukong, everybody. The star of the hour. The star of your account if you pull him. Obviously, save. I'm going to tell you now. Save for him. Use him. Pull him. He's your guy. I'm Mad Capper. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.